This is the URT. Welcome to the URT. This is the URT. We are the URT. You're tuning in live and direct to the URT, people. Big up to every one of you for joining us. Things can only get better. They can only get. I've been singing that for 12 years. That's been my
12 years.
soundtrack. We're living on a prayer. Whoa, whoa. We're halfway there. Listen,
At this point, you can make a whole record out of out of wishing a good outcome for us. How are you doing, Odin?
I'm good. Luani, how are you? You're back in the shed. Luani's back in the shed. Smash a like for that, people. Luani's back to where he's comfortable. He's got his little heater behind there. He's back in the shed.
I'm back in the shed, the only place I can speak freely.
Come on, Luani. I'm sure your partner, she's a wonderful, wonderful human being.
Of course.
Who does she support, Luani? Who does she support?
She used to be a City fan. Now, I don't know what happened. She doesn't watch them anymore. So.
You're sleeping with the enemy because they're not winning anymore. That's why. Saying that they won yesterday. Big up to Alternative Facts. Listen, people, welcome in. We're still shadow banned. As part of the title for this show, we said that's the reason why. That was the reason why we didn't do a preview yesterday. What do you want to do to the previews to say we're going to get slapped? What kind of preview is that? I try to tell the truth as much as I can because, unfortunately, this is the therapy channel. And the therapy is where you tell the truth. You can't lie to yourself. We're not lying to ourselves out here. But it is what it is. But I put the thumbnail as Amorim tonight because I don't actually believe he's to blame. I think at times this season he's out of his depth. And I think that he's made mistakes. But I don't blame him because I'm not sheep or I'm not a bootlicker. And I look at the people who bought him here. And now that we've lost 14 games, last season we lost 12. The season before that we lost 12. So we lose games. That's what's been happening.
Nuruddin, why can't we blame him? Why can't we blame him? That's a question I want to ask you.
Because Amorim is a guy who's never coached in the Premier League. He's come from one of the smallest leagues one of the less fancied leagues in Europe. I don't know who's further. Is it a Dutch league or the Portuguese league? I think a lot more people know about the Dutch league than they knew about the Portuguese league. He's 40 years old. He's got a very inexperienced and young coaching staff with him. And we bought him here knowing that none of the players that we have in our squad are compatible with the way he wants to play football. So I can't blame somebody, Luani, that is being bought in the middle of the season and was told, start now. They gave him a free hit, but I do have warning for him. That doesn't mean that I don't blame him for in-game management of dopey things he does with the way he sets the team up. I can critically analyze those things. But for me to blame him is that, for me, if you're going to take it out on Amorim, then you've not been watching the football club as closely as I have been. Because the trajectory is been there. The trajectory of this football club is been there. It's been there. And all of it was going to come to a head. Where we are this season, don't happen in a vacuum. It's been in the making since Fergie walked out of this football club. That's been in the making for the different types of styles of football coaches that we've hired, the different styles of footballers that we've bought, and then we've let it rot. And then when you see today, the only person that you can rotate with is Victor Lindelof. And he's supposed to be the kind of leader, stick his chest out and say, come on, tough away game, let's do that. If my life or your life, Luani, depending on that, we're dead. We're dead. We are dead. So this idea of me blaming somebody like Amorim, he doesn't know the league. Luani, I believe me and you are both older than him. We are older than him.
No, Nuruddin. The
Experience
reason
coming to this league, he doesn't know. They give him a thing that was going to fail. They are now sacking more people in the upcoming week and weeks to come. And I'm gonna show. Actually, I might do a video tomorrow. What Cantona said. Cantona, legend of this football club. Every season he played for Manchester United, he won a league title. A legend, a captain, a marvel. What his comments are about who owns our football club. But I'll say this and I'll say it now, people. It is simple. Manchester United, the things that are happening don't happen because of one coach or one player. There is something fundamentally rotten. And if you watch the trajectory of this football club, it has been like that. And Ineos are coming to strip more the asset, strip it all back. And Manchester United are going to be 10th place kind of club. And we're going to be yo-yo, maybe finish top half of the table, bottom half of the table. So even if we win on Thursday, even if we win the Europa League, they ain't going to buy players that are seriously going to help this coach to come into the team to help him. I personally believe if he's going to stay, he needs a well-experienced number two, right? Who's been around the Premier League and who understands the Premier League more than he does. He needs somebody like that. I understand that he's very stubborn and he's got his team, but you need somebody who shows you the lay of the land. Today is the most prickly I've seen him after a game. Today I saw him really prickly. I don't care who lose. Today he was under extreme pressure. All of that nice, the poet, all that was gone today after the game when he got interviewed. So for me, he didn't bring himself here, Luani. Neither did these players. But go right ahead, I'm gonna move.
you know why I disagree. Hey, hi Bumbaye.
Yes, G.
You know why I disagree with that? Kind of disagree with that partially. I know that the Glazers are the scarecrows that are in the background, and those are the ones we will always look at for the problem. But Amorim has a job. He has a mandate to produce. When you are in a position of ownership, you can only appoint people and delegate people competent people that can do the job for you. Now, their margin for error when it comes to choosing a good manager is pretty much a toss-up, right? They will do their homework, they will bring in the person that they think is best fitted for the job. But that is still not a guarantee that the person will succeed. But we can compartmentalize their responsibility versus the responsibility of Amorim. We know the club is rotten and it's their fault. We know that they are here to make money, and that's the only reason they are here for. But that still doesn't absolve us from producing good stuff on the pitch. Amorim has been given a mandate to rebuild this team. He accepted the job because he did a risk assessment on his own with the members of his team, and he thought that it was something he can do. Right now, he's just facing with his own failures, and that have nothing to do with the Glazers. The Glazers. What you're doing, Nuruddin, is that you're taking the track record of the Glazer and Onios in the past and then projecting it in the future. I'm talking about now, what we're seeing now on the pitch, what Amorim is producing with the tool that he's being given is not satisfactory. And that's why I think we should focus on. After that, we can worry about the Glazer and Ineos and their ability to invest. Because I say it and I say it again, a bad manager will always disguise the shortcoming of a bad board. But if Amorim is good as a manager, we can all see that, hey, this is what he needs, and they're not giving him the help. Just like with Louis van Gaal, we can see the football he's playing, but we clearly saw that he needed quality players. But this is not the case with Amorim. He's clearly underachieving, and that's what is my issue.
Big up Mbaye, Luani, I understand. Unfortunately, from everything that I know, and this is my personal opinion, I can never separate what's going on behind the scenes and what's happening on the football pitch. Now, let me give you a context. Under Mike Ashley, the owner who owned Newcastle, they were fighting relegation. They were getting relegated. They were coming back up. Now they have Saudi owners, stable. They're building a new training ground. They try to extend the stadium. They bring certain level of expertise to help Eddie Howe. And I'm afraid Newcastle are on the up and Manchester United are, because and most importantly, Luani, the fans, the owners, the structure are all in United. That's why after 70 years, Luani, Newcastle have won a trophy. And Manchester United, we've been mismanaged, and Fergie was papering over the cracks for 20 years almost. Well, no, from 2005 to 2005 till 2013, Fergie was papering over the cracks. In the last 12 to 13 years, they've been exposed for what they are. And now we've got 28% stake by another Jim Glazer. His name is another brother of the Glazers, who bailed them out, give them the money for them to stay. What I wish for us to happen was a complete reset, is for us to get relegated. Unfortunately, the Premier League's been absolute trash this season, and the 3 clubs who came up, I think, are all going down. So the reason why we're up there and where we are is because of that. So I'm a believer you can never separate what's going on the football pitch. So, for example, in theatre, they use language. They go the back of house to the front of house. Now, the back of house, front of house have to be in unison, or else there's no show. There's no theatre show. They both depend on each other fundamentally. But here in a football club, like Manchester United, of stature, of its name, where we were so ahead of everybody else, we are now a Wikipedia page. And now it's even getting embarrassing. So it's very difficult for me to blame a 40-year-old who's never played in this league, never coached in this league, who was bought in, who they apparently spoke to in the summer, and the director of football at that time said, the players we have are not compatible in the way he wants to play football. He was sacked, Amorim was bought in, and now they told him also in his interview, and I always refer back to one of the interviews where he said the management board have said to him, start now, try to implement. They basically give him a free hit. Now, for Manchester United season to bounce on one game on Thursday is ludicrous. But welcome, Bombaye. We're going to go through the game. I thought in the first half, we did all right in the first half.
Nuruddin,
I was watching it with Saki.
Let me just give you a quick for what you just said right now about Newcastle. If you take the Newcastle model, for example, they were in the Gulag a few years ago. Nobody was talking about them. When they change ownership and they bring in the Emirate in, the first act they did is sack the manager and bring in Eddie Howe. The Saudis. So when they bring in the Saudis, their first act was to sack the manager and get rid of that structure that was there. And they brought in Eddie Howe. That could easily be a hit or a miss. But they started it 3 years ago. And they stuck with that manager and they have a plan. And we've seen the fruit today. What we've been asking for is what just happened right now. We asked for the structure to change. Yes, the ownership did not change, but the structure is different now. And this is their first choice of manager. We cannot blame them for having a first strike out. We have to give them a chance to correct this. It's not a the thing you gave right away. We give them a couple of chances, a couple of years to see. We don't have enough data on them, on this new structure, to start blaming them for anything. So we need to give them a little time to see what they're going to do with Amorim. If by next year, or if in 3 years we still have an issue, these glaring issues, then we can start talking about how this new structure does not make any difference.
For me, I don't see anything. I pay attention to what they're doing, Lawani. Maybe you don't, but I really pay close attention. They've stripped Asset, the football club. They've sacked half of the people working up behind the scenes. And now they're saying we're going to buy children, teenagers, teenagers to come in and save us. Their strategy, their plan is nothing. On their first season, they're going to be managing because the way they dropped the ball, they should have sacked Eric Ten Hag, and they bought their players. They were involved in that transfer window, that the players they bought in, other than Masraoui Delit, and actually our best player today on the football pitch before he got injured was Zirkzee. And now without him, I think the season's done. I genuinely don't think Manchester United can win a Europa League because we have nobody up front that can hold the football, that can put a foot on the ball, that can bring people into play. But I just want to bring in Bumbaye because me and you can go back forth in this. Bumbaye, how you doing? Are you there, Bumbaye?
Yes.
Of course, you
Good,
didn't watch the
good
whole game, but did you watch some of the highlights?
Yeah, I watched some of the highlights. I went hiking today, man, up in the hills while the game was on. So caught bits of it, a little bit, and then had to watch the highlights to check it out.
Bumbaye, can we give a round of applause to Bumbaye? Luani, can we give him a round of applause, please? He chose his health and went hiking in the lovely countryside around Manchester. Bumbaye is probably the best thing you could have ever done for yourself. Congratulations and well done.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Bumbaye, congratulations.
Muchas
Got
gracias.
some cardio in.
Yeah, oh man, it was nice. What a day today, honestly, beautiful. Yeah, good evening to the URT. So this result obviously is a bad one. I have listened to a few opinions on it before I came on here. In the main, everybody's disappointed, is not happy, especially with the result. Seems like we played well first half. Seen mistakes, quite a few mistakes. Again, what can you do? There was a beautiful passage of play though with Bruno and Xerxes, which I really enjoyed. It reminded me of Cole and York, where the keeper saves it. I went into this game. I wasn't part of the preview for this game, but I went into this game and I looked at Newcastle and thought that they're physically strong, and they're not a team that are going to push high to the point where we can exploit it. It's going to be a difficult day. We also played 48 hours ago away at Lyon, and they're fresher than we are. So the way that they play and the physicality that they have, it was going to be a difficult day, and I felt we'd lose this game. And there was always the possibility. Me and my boys were saying on our thread that, just I hope it's not a bashing. But it's just part of a season, not just our season. I just feel this entire Premier League season has been one of the most mundane I've ever been part of. Just a very boring season that I'll be happy to see the back of. I like what Ruben Amorim is doing. I think Ruben Amorim deserves patience to get to the summer. I want to see how our transfer window goes. We could have a good one, and that depends a lot. Not that we've got ready money like usual to go in there. We have to be able to offload players that are not easy to offload in order to bring in 4 or 5 new ones. I think the advent of 4 or 5 new players that are the right players will definitely help this team, and the exodus of players that are, for various reasons, of no use to this team, will also help us. So yeah, for me, Ruben Amorim is the guy at the moment. I'm not talking about sacking anybody or anything like that. Today was always going to be a mountain to climb, and we helped them along the way, as is the case um, these days with errors and stuff like that. But there's a lot of factors that played a role into that. I think the boys are tired and they've got an eye on Thursday. It's massive. That game should have been sewn up really, apart from two dreadful goals. And we know that it's not a foregone conclusion. It should have been at Old Trafford 2-0. And it's all about Europa League this season because the league form doesn't matter. What we're going to do now, play good every week and improve for the next 8 weeks, it don't really matter. We're just plodding along with it. Hopefully, some players can get some fitness, find a little bit of form. That's the biggest hope. It's all about the Europa League, which I don't think we'll win it, but we're in it and we have a chance to, and that's very important. And the reason all the eggs are in that basket, it's not the first time. Jose did it, and we won it, and it turned out well. So if we can do that, it's only going to help the summer. The rest of this season is just a prelude to the summer, so that we can relax, let the dust settle, get the ins and outs, and then go again next year. So I'm not too upset with this game, to be honest. I'm not going to go all nuts on Ineos and the manager and this and that and analyze too much. I don't see the point in me doing that. It's not the first time this has happened. It's not the last time it's going to happen. You have to take it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's the season that you're in for. So for me, when I get to the end of this year, man, we see where we are.
Right, big up Mumbai.
Yo,
We lose every week. We lose every week. You're nothing special. We lose every week. We lose every week. We lose every week. Where you're nothing special. We lose every week. Big up to my man.
Yo,
Big up to my.
I have to. I wish I was around you every day. You are a very positive guy.
hey, come here. Move to the left a little. Move to the left a little bit.
Listen,
I'm gonna give you a hug.
Listen, we'll send you some of that pack that he's smoking. Yeah, we'll send some of that to you. Send it to your address.
No, bro.
Maybe Mumbai could come and visit you and hang the
what do you want? Do you want to all go for anger management sessions every week?
There isn't.
What's the point?
Listen, first of all, I just want to say big up to Khalees Romilly. That's Chivalry United Real Therapy. Big up to Tactical Devils. Big up the Tactico King. We got him here, Jarvis Bowley 77.
Yes.
And with the graphic designer, video editor, video intro, outro maker. There you go. He's brushing it off. Big up to you, Jarvis. Jarvis, I actually thought in that first half we did really well. I thought we scored against the run of play. I thought we coped with them. I thought they huffed and puffed. And I actually I think our best player was Sirksky because he was really troubling them. He was, every time the ball went going forward, he was battling for it. He was fighting for it. He was putting his foot on the ball, turning. He was connecting, bringing people into play. And soon as he went off, we died. I think even when it was 2-1 with Zirkzee on the pitch, we could have had hope with him because soon as he went off the pitch, Mr. Bambi on ice himself, the man who downs a bottle of whiskey, that's the only way I can explain it. Mr. Rasmus Højlund, who can never stay on his feet. And by the way, people, please smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. We are shadow banned because we shout for the freedom of the people. Freedom.
Free Palestine, man. Free Palestine.
Free Lebanon.
Free Haiti. With Donald Trump
free Congo.
and Benjamin Netanyahu.
Free Sudan.
And Zionism.
Free the people. Free them all.
Evil.
Free Manchester United from Ineos and Glazers. Big up to you, all of you, and love. But Jarvis, so tactically, this is how I saw the game. 1 second, but by it. This is how I saw the game. They came out in the first 20 minutes, the first minute, actually, they overtained us. You can see the way they play. They actually commit, then leave two at the back. They were leaving Dan and Cher at the back, and they were overloading in areas, getting the ball out wide, everybody getting in the box. They were doing that. I thought we did all right to cope with that. in that first half. And I thought the equaliser, because we had the best bit of play all season. And I'm so sad that it didn't turn out to be a goal.
Yeah.
The one-touch football between Eriksen, Bruno, and Xerxes. And Xerxes having a shot, instead the goal was all open wide there. I don't know why he shot upwards, because he could have just bent into that corner. It was there to behold. And after that, we came out sluggish. We gave the ball away. I look at their goal. If you want, please, Jarvis, I beg you, please tell me you got the clip of their first goal.
Yes. That's a really interesting.
I really need to show people what happened in that goal. So please, Jarvis, if you can get that up, I really would love to see it.
There's so many things to talk about in that goal, but especially it comes to us trying to play out from the back. We don't have the abilities. We don't have the players to do it. It's terrible to watch. Watching Ugarte, Lindelof, Dalot trying to thread themselves into really tight spaces, doing something with the ball. You know, it's useless. You know, and Lindelof, I preferred him. I said that I preferred Lindelof playing, not Maguire, because Lindelof is better on the ball. Mm-hmm. But it's not. It's not. Who are we kidding? It's
Thank
terrible.
You, Jarvis. Jarvis, be honest, bro. Did I not say I don't think he's that better? Do I not think he's a disaster class? Did I not say that? Did I not say he's a disaster class?
Come on, guys. We're not gonna go off on Lindelof right now because of that.
Please, Jarvis, have you got the clip? Please, I just want to. I want to see the clip. I want to show people something. I really need to show something, right?
We can just have a quick look and on the beautiful attack. Start with the positive.
This was the best football Manchester United played in a season and a half. Look at this. Bang. Bang. Look, open your body up. There. Not that hard. Open your body up. It's in that corner there.
Guys, this is what we're doing now.
Seriously, look at this. Look, open your body up.
My brothers, this is what we're doing now.
That's the best football. That's the best football all season.
One moment in the 90 minutes.
Yes, Luwani, yes. One moment, yes. Yes, Luwani. One moment. The best football Manchester United have played this season by an absolute mile.
It was. I have the goal nerd, and it's a long.
Please just show the clip.
It's a long clip, so we have to stop sometimes. We can't play it all because it will be more than the allowed time. So
just play when they win the ball back. Just play when they win the ball back.
Yeah, we just won the ball here. You see, Lindelof is on the ball. This is Ugarte. We have Eriksen here, Casemiro, Bruno is up here. So you see, when we win the ball, Newcastle directly go into pressure.
Press. Look at the press. Look at the trigger. Look at the shape. Look at the shape of them. Look at the shape of them.
And you see three guys are swarming Ugarte at this moment.
And he makes the right decision. Yeah,
look at
he
Joe
makes
Linton,
the right decision.
Sprinting into press.
Yeah, he makes the right decision. Lindelof now could move a little bit to anticipate the ball.
Euro is too far back there. Euro is too far back there.
That is on Euro, because you know why? Euro, let me say this. Euro, the reason why Euro is too much that way, because Euro wanted to give, if the ball was going to go back to the keeper, to give him an option. But go ahead.
He can give him an option, but he can now give Maguire an option to play it quickly.
It's not Maguire. Maguire's not the pick.
Lindelof, yeah. He should be right there.
You see, that's on Ugarte. A good ball progressor, that ball goes to Lindelof right away, and Lindelof opened the pitch right to Euro. And that situation is done.
Well, let's play it.
Straight back to him. For a one-time ball. Yeah, that's shit. That's shit from Ugarte. Didn't need that extra touch there. If Euro's there now, that ball goes to Euro. That's an awful ball. It's a bro. No, but there's loads going on there.
Guys, first of all, yeah, Ugarte makes two touches. It should be like a bounce pass in this instance. Yes. Yeah. So it's a two touch. So that's first error. Second error is Lindelof's first.
Look what he does.
His first touch should be in this direction.
Boom.
In the open space.
Euro. Yeah, into that space. Into the space.
He has a huge space here.
And you know what? Put your body. Jarvis, put your body between you and the ball, and Joe Linton will have to foul you. But go ahead.
You see, his first touch is bad, and the pass is horrific. Look at it. It's in knee height for Ericsson. What is Ericsson supposed to do?
The ball from Ogate, it's not only delayed, it's not a fast ball into feet. Euro is not giving us an option when he should be. That's your problems. And yeah, he's getting caught on the ball. Euro should be there where you just put your mouse. Has to be there. That has to be there. He's still watching the game at this point, wrong.
And it's
So,
a first.
Yeah, either he's hoofing
touch.
that, and now it's trouble. Yeah.
And now we're just clearing the ball because we are in panic mode.
Yeah.
So now is the second phase now is Bruno, because Bruno he sprints into pressure to try to win the ball.
Pause, please, Jarvis. Pause.
Yes.
What do we always say? What do we say? How do you press, Jarvis? Please explain to the people how you should press.
Yeah, you should press from one side. It's about angling your run. Don't run straight at him.
Getting down low.
Yeah.
Making your body as strong as you can, so you lean with your hands to get balance and leave one of the legs so that you can tell a player that you might be interrupting. You're there to kind of like, what's the word when you
let me see what happens.
Look what he does. He runs. I need you to pause it, but go ahead. I'll come back to this, please. I just need to show the people something. So just give me 1 second.
And the next thing is Hariyamas's position. He's perfectly positioned as a left back, but not a left wing back.
He's in the wrong place.
And he should read the game and see when Bruno overcommits here. Bruno is overcommitting, so he leaves.
Bro, how is Bruno at this point done anything wrong? In my opinion, we need to get out. The people that I like here, if you were to take that back 2 seconds, I like Ericsson switched on immediately. Amas is in the wrong place. Bruno's looking now. Gain ground. He's gone to number 2.
I don't blame Bruno on this.
No, not at all, bro.
No, because it's 2v1. No, regardless of how he presses, he's not getting that ball.
No, that's what I was told. So, that's what we teach, man. Out quickly.
No, I'm sorry, Bombay.
No, he's not getting that ball.
I'm not buying it. What you guys do not understand is when you go alone and nobody follows you up, you are going to give the team more space. With one pass, they have taken him out and they can now move into the space.
But the problem is, Nuruddin, is that they didn't do what they should do. They're all still watching the game.
They didn't. So you realize that they're not going to.
But as a team, he's doing what everybody should be doing.
He runs straight. He can't press. He's running in the way.
Nuruddin,
that's wrong.
Nuruddin, on this specific play, right? On this specific play, okay? We still, even though they took him out of the play, we still have the numbers. You see Harry and Maso?
No, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what our center halves do after this. So let it play, Jarvis, please. Look, I need you to look at Lindelof. I need you to keep looking at Lindelof. He checks over his shoulder. He knows Isaac is there. He knows Isaac's there. And also...
He's lost him now.
Yeah, no.
Yep. He runs in.
He's lost him now.
Right?
He just lost him.
Let it play, Jarvis. Now, look at this. Isaac's touch is terrible. His touch is actually terrible. But if you're close enough, Lindelof was there. That goal does not go because Isaac goes back to the guy who got the ball. That's why we conceded. All because 100%. Of Lindelof. So take it back a bit, Jarvis. Please take it back. Look what 100%. Lindelof does. Look what Lindelof does.
He's in the right position here, but he suddenly sprints inside.
He sees him. He sees
Well, look, you know that point there.
I agree 100%. Every time a striker turn a bad touch into an assist, I'm looking at my centre back.
That is a terrible touch by Isaac. But what does he do? He uses it like a clever footballer that he is, because you know the guy's not there. It's too late, and he puts it. And for me, that is why the goal happened. Because of all the different things, losing the ball when you're being pressed is nothing bad. You've got still enough numbers to be able to recover. But your central defender does that. Totally gives the guy 7 yards, 6 yard space, and then the striker takes a terrible touch. But because he's got a terrible touch, because he's got so much time, he turns the terrible touch into a brilliant assist.
Look, I just want to come in there just a second. At this point, a centre-backs, the back line there, could be anticipating across the space for the strikers and for the other guy to take if they run onto a cross. That's one thing you would really have to consider. Isaac's movement here is not only clever, He changes the cross into an instant pass. So you've got to give credit to the guy that
That's
finds
what I'm
Isaac.
Nuruddin, I watched the game. I watched the game. I
We're
watched
both
the game.
watching.
Be
Yeah, it
quiet.
doesn't matter. We're
You
both
watched
watching
the
a
game.
clip.
I watched the game. On
At
the
this
picture,
point,
Diego Dalot. It's goal side. There. Back. Where are they going to cross the ball to?
Stop.
Diego Dalot is there.
You didn't
Masraoui is in
listen.
front. The
You
ball. Lindelof needs to stay with the striker. Fuck the fucking cross. You
No.
need to stay with the striker.
Listen.
You cannot give a striker that look 5, 6, 7 yards.
Listen,
No.
he's lost him. Calm down.
Sorry.
Before
I reject your premise. I reject your premise. I reject your
Stop
premise.
a minute.
I reject your premise.
Stop
I
going
reject
nuts
it.
a minute.
No,
Relax a
no,
minute.
Guys,
no. I am
guys,
screaming.
guys,
I am screaming.
guys, let's
because
calm down.
You
Let's
are
calm
trying
down.
to cover for somebody who does not need to be covering for. He cost us the fucking goal. He cost us the goal twice. Not just once, twice.
Hang on a second.
No.
If you look, just 1 second, man. Come on, we're analyzing a clip here. We're analyzing a clip. If you play that back a little bit, Jarvis, just go back a little bit, please. Okay, back a little bit more, please. Just a second more. Right. At this point, the position is all right. Here, stop. You see now, you see the spacing behind. See the spacing behind. If a cross comes in, Isaac can run onto that. It's a very, very realistic possibility here now.
It's not only a realistic possibility. They did it throughout the game.
They did it throughout the game.
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing this. They don't cross the ball from there.
Of course you can.
No, they don't.
No,
You know what?
you can.
Who's
Look,
behind him there is Murphy. Murphy usually goes on the other side. And Trippier holds up the
particular
ball,
moment
and they don't
now.
cross the ball from there. They don't.
Nuruddin, there is a strong.
We conceded a couple of goals this season by early crossing. I don't remember exactly what game was it, but we did,
bro.
We did.
If I'm that player on the ball now, I'm firing a ball. I can fire a ball just a couple of yards in that space, ahead into our box, just right there for Isaac to run onto. So Lindelof is there, and that's why he's actually running back. Stay muted. Perfect.
The keeper's there. If the ball gets crossed, Bayandier's got to come out and collect it.
No,
what are you on about?
What
are you on about?
Are you talking about the same Bayendier that flapped that pushed the ball?
No.
He pushed the ball.
Jarvis, please help me. Jarvis, I beg you, don't stay silent, Jarvis. Jarvis, please don't stay silent. Help me out here.
Guys,
we are outnumbering them. We are outnumbering them.
Why are you shouting?
4 players against 3. What are you on about?
Why are you shouting?
They like to overload. Do you know how Newcastle play? They have a set way of playing. They overload. They want to have numerical advantage in the box.
Let's just take it back 1 minute. You see here, Bruno is overcommitting in his press. That's my thoughts. Because you see the rest of the team is just ball watching. They're not helping out Bruno. So Bruno is overcommitting. And because of this, there's a big space opening up here. And you see Hariamas, he goes a little bit backwards before he reacts and go into pressure. So the Newcastle player receiving the ball, I think it's Trippier, gets too much time on the ball.
If I was the manager, I would be speaking to Harry Amas there. I want everybody switched on and pressing them back.
You see here in this instance, look at Harry Amas.
Miles away. Look at the space and time he's got to cross.
Yes.
Too much.
So in a way, we lost our press.
Okay. Now
there was no press to begin with, Jarvis.
Now a cross
running like headless chicken.
There's a possibility, but what you've got to do here, I give Newcastle credit. He looks at Isaac, he drops off and finds the ball quickly.
But there's one more thing that you haven't mentioned. You have to look at Tonali. He makes a little feint and he drags Lenioro with him and runs around him, past him.
Okay.
And also the Tonali movement was crucial for this attack because he's almost like he's trying to get the cross first and he just lets it go to Isaac. So look at Tonali and his movement. He makes a little feint here when the ball comes. Look,
see there, he's thinking it's coming in
make
high.
A little feint and runs in.
Lindelof knows he's lost Isaac now. And Lenny Oro is static, ball watching. As you can see, he's got no eyes on the
Look at his
Tonali.
position. His terrible position here from
Awful.
Lenny Oro.
It's a comedy of errors from everybody. It's a great goal. I have to give
This
Newcastle
is what I
credit
want to
too.
say is that when you usually analyzing frame by frame, the thing that lead into scoring a goal, you will find mistake in any frame. That's how the goals happen in the first place.
And
What I think we should be focusing on is that
I don't agree.
why.
I'm sorry, Luane, I don't agree.
Okay.
I don't agree.
What?
That
Okay.
centre
Fine.
half pushes on Isaac. Isaac takes a terrible touch. He doesn't have
No,
the time. The ball gets back to Trippier, and then they go again. I've seen it. I've seen it.
What I'm trying to say is that when we're watching the game, right, a situation like this happen, we should be focusing on two things.
On Isaac. He has to go on tight.
Nuruddin, we should be focusing on two things. Number one, we were trying to play the ball out when we lost it. That means that we don't have a good ball progressor, right? Or we don't have good ball progressors. That's number one. Number two, this particular situation happened throughout the game where they crossed the ball and back post or whatever, but they couldn't score on that. That means that somewhere in that middle, Newcastle is able to overload us. Okay, they have a midfield trio. They have the right balance, and they're able to overload us with their wingers. That's why we should be. That's where the problem is. If a team is able to recreate a situation against you many times, press you high, get the ball in the danger zone, and create many opportunities against you in the final third, your problem is not the individual players that you have. They're putting you under pressure. So eventually, your defenders will make mistake. Your midfielders will make mistake. So the real focus should be on why are we not able to progress the ball through the Newcastle press. We can't do that. Every time they press us, they gain the ball back. Every time we try to progressively go to the flank, they lock down the flank. The one thing I was looking at today, every time we try to progress the ball, I see Joelinton, he's man marking Ugarte. And they know that it's by design. Because they know once they take Ugarte out, Ugarte is our lone DM. He's the one that sits in that midfield. He's not a ball progressor by nature. They put Joelinton on him, no problem. He gets bullied, he loses the ball there. We are on the back foot. That's the issue we have. So
you're saying back foot, and I have to say, Lawane, that Lindelof is a back foot defender. He's so passive. He's so weak. There's no, and his anticipation how to read the game is terrible. And I'm so happy that he's leaving this summer because he won't be missed.
We have to choose between Lindelof and Maguire. Which one do you want? If you choose to play with Lindelof, of course, you move your line up a little bit, but you're trying to play the ball from the back. It's okay. But he made one mistake today by his wrong pass selection because that ball should have gone wide to Lenny Euro.
Look at this. Look at what's happening here. Look at it's Tonali on. I think it's Tonali on the ball, or is it Bruno G? Look how passive we are.
Tonali.
Look at this. Look how passive. 1, 2, 3. Look how long it takes for people to go into pressure. We are a back foot defense. Look at them.
You have to be switched. You have to be switched.
That's why I'm coming back. That's why I'm coming back to the system. For me, the 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1 is a system that is, for me, is so difficult for me to comprehend with the players that we have. When you have somebody like Ruben Amorim, I'm not saying that Ruben Amorim doesn't know his system, or I'm not saying that the system will not work in the Premier League. All I'm saying is that Ruben Amorim is not choosing the right players to play this system. Don't tell me he does not have option. If you have Toby Collier and you think Ugarte is a better ball progressor than him, that's on you. If you think that Bruno is an 8, that's fine. That's what he is. But Bruno cannot progress the ball. Last week, I was saying we don't have any ball carrier in our team. I always went back, watch the Liverpool game. Again, today, I watched the Liverpool game, both leg. I watched Crystal Palace. against City yesterday, and I watched Wolf today. The reason I just focus on those is because they play the same system as us. And I want to see what players do they have in critical positions, or how do they deploy the system that we don't do. And he always come up to the same thing. We don't have ball progressors. We don't have anybody to carry the ball. And it was in effect today. The only opportunity we were able to create is when Dallo break free, caught inside, and carried the ball up the field. He did it the first time and put the ball, passed the ball to Garnacho, who crossed the ball. We didn't get a goal from there, but that was very close. The second time he did it, we got a goal. And you see, the second opportunity we have was also when Amas was able to break free, cut in, and do a combination, and we were able to get the ball up the pitch. For me, a system like that is too predictable. You can have a system that allow only your wingers to be your creative players, because the only thing you ask, your wing back to be your
but the
creative
problem
players.
isn't the system today. It's the players. You know, we could have had Pep or Alex Ferguson as the manager today with the same, with another tactic.
No,
Wouldn't made a difference.
I agree.
Because
You're saying it's the players, right?
Didn't
But
show up today.
I don't look at it that way. I agree that it's the players, but I think that is the players' inability to execute the system. And Amorim have to recognize that. And it's not the reason I'm going back to him is not because he doesn't have other options. Look at it for today. I'll give you two. I think we have a Bruno and Ugarte problem. Bruno is not a ball progressor. You cannot play him in a double pivot, okay? You can play him as an 8th needle. Because he's going to go roaming, and our system play with 3 defenders. We can afford one ball progressor that cannot progress the ball, which is Ugarte. If you're playing with 3 defenders, one of them have to be able to step in the midfield, or you're gonna have to play with 2 DM in front of them. Instead, we choose to play with Bruno in the 8. If Bruno plays in the 10, he cannot play back to goal, right? We all agree on that. He cannot make rounds on the shoulder neither. The only time Bruno is comfortable is when he gets the ball in the final third facing the goal. So if you tell me you're playing Bruno and Garnacho in the 10, you can only accommodate for one of them, which is Garnacho, because Garnacho can hug the touchline or go round on the shoulder. He can do that, but he cannot come to the ball. So my issue with Amorim is that he have to start picking the right personnel. Why are you picking Eriksson, who doesn't have a leg, in a midfield 3 against Joelinton, Tonali, and Gamaresh? That's a suicide. That's wrong in itself. You can't do that.
I agree. You should have played Collier, obviously.
Collier is injured. Collier has been injured for the past couple of weeks. I just want to come back in and apologize to Bombay and to the audience.
Don't worry about it. I love it when you give the abuse. Don't worry.
Let me just say, it's not about you loving it, you absolute bozo. It's about, for me, Lindelof. My centre halves should always stay. It's not like Isaac did something very clever by spinning him, coming to the ball and then running in behind. He didn't. He came to the ball, and he is in no man's land. And then he takes the bad touch, and if he didn't, the ball goes back to Isaac. If that ball, Lindelof's got a chance of winning it, or the ball, Isaac, because the second touch, he's going to fight for it and give it back to Trippier. The thing that I want to say, I actually thought on the first half we did all right. I genuinely do think as soon as Zerski went off, it died. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'll tell you, lot. In recent weeks, when I watch Zerski, he's the only player that actually does anything up front. Rasmus Højlund came on the football pitch at 60 minutes. And all he did, I think about 10 or 8 times he was on the floor. Everything he does, he's on the floor. He's on the floor. He's like, he comes out.
What's the song? On the floor.
Yeah. Drunken master. You know when he swats
his ground game, Dino, his UFC ground game is next level. I swear down. And you know what? He's massive, bro. He's huge. I don't get it, man. I don't get Rasmus.
I'll just say it simple. I just want to explain to some of you lot. I'd say that he's a kid, obviously, that needs to be taken out. He's feeling a lot of pressure. I don't blame him either. But I swear to you, you would think he. Let me just finish. It looks like he's down 2 bottles of whiskey before you get out on the football pitch.
He's unstable on his legs. He's right.
He cannot stay fit. And he's 20 years old? I don't blame him because a 20-year-old should not be. You have to be so exceptional to be starting in and out for Manchester United. That is, again, Luani, goes back directly to the football club. To have somebody who's, again, not played in this league, doesn't know his whereabouts, that needs to be developed, that needs to work on every act of his game. And then I look at it, I think, look at the Ronaldo, the Rooney, look at the team they came into. Winners like Giggs, Beckham, Scholes, you know what I mean? Look at the team that they come into, Rio, Vidic, Ever, seasoned in, seasoned out professionals. And I look at people like him. Let me finish, Luani. Luani, let me finish. I'm sorry to this. I know tonight you're supporting your brother Sean, even though you're on the East Coast and he's on the West Coast and he's not here with us. Right? I know that's what you're doing, and I see where you're going with this. But the fact that you are telling me a 20-year-old has to be the striker for Manchester United and be played to death like Rasmus Højlund's been played to death, when you know well enough that when you're that young, especially strikers, and I want to remind you, one of the best strikers in the Premier League history is a guy called Didier Drogba. He was in Division 2 in the French league at the age of 22. So I need you to put comparison in what we're talking about. Rasmus Højlund should never have been number 1. And Bombay and me and Jarvis and all of that were here saying, he's not enough. We needed 2 strikers and we needed somebody older and experienced that they can learn from. Rio Ferdinand spoke recently about Wayne Rooney and said, even he was at the end of his career, when we got in a January, I don't know if you guys remember, but in a January, we signed Henrik Larsson, the Swedish striker that used to be, he was a Celtic legend. Rio Ferdinand let it be known that Rooney in training every single day was doing work with him, saying to him, how do I finish this? This is Wayne Rooney. This is season. This Rooney has already been here for a couple of years, already doing brilliant. And when Henrik Larsson came into the club for the January loan, if you guys can remember, Rooney in training was like, how do you finish that? How do I finish left foot, right foot? How do you know when to take it? You watch that season, go and look at back. Look at the variety of finishes Wayne Rooney had. And Wayne Rooney was 10 times the player Rasmus Højlund is. So this is the context in which you have to understand. Young players, you buy them for 70 million, put up massive pressure on their back, and you don't develop them. You don't have a plan except for playing them to death. And when I look at him now, I just see somebody, like Bambi on ice. That's what I see. Bambi on ice. And when I look at him, I think, oh my God, how is this team going to try to win a Europa League? To win a cup, you need players who either, if they're not going to be scoring, they have to hold up game needs to be A1, and they need to bring players into the game, especially when the ball goes up front. Or when you get a ball in a box, that player is going to be more than chances turning shit passes into goals. Because remember, that's what they say, Jarvis. Shit passes, some of the best strikers in the world turn shit balls into goals. Rasmus is neither that. For me, our hopes of Europa League died with Xerxes. That's my point. Xerxes is a bit older. He's 23 years old, but he's had a really sticky time at Manchester United. But if you watch today's game, he made the ball stick more than so. And Cher and that big guy are not easy to play against. They're not very easy to play against. and he brought them ball down. He actually, because they defended with two players at the time, he brought it down. When Rasmus came on, God help us.
Nuruddin.
And I don't see what's happening on Thursday.
Nuruddin.
Go ahead, Luana. Go ahead.
Nuruddin, I'm glad that we are having this discussion. You're saying that we need to develop him. Whose job is it to develop him? Is it Jim Ratcliffe's job, Omar Barada's job, Wilcox's job, or is it Amorim's?
Football club. It's the football club's job.
No, it's the coach's job by definition. If as a coach, if I'm an owner of a building, I hire a plumber. I say, hey, what do you need to get the job done? I'm gonna give you this, and you look at the tool I give you. Say, hey, this tool is not gonna get the job done faster. Give me another tool. That means you're a professional. You know what you're doing. As a coach, when Rasmus come in, he have ample time to observe him on the training ground. Nobody put a gun on his head to start Rasmus, but yet that's why we're thinking week in, week out. We could absorb him if he doesn't have any options. But we're finding out that the option that he had on the bench, which is Xerxes, who has started less game than Rasmus, is actually better than Rasmus. So are we going to blame the Glazer? Are we going to blame Radcliffe for that too? No, that's on him. His risk assessment, his talent identification are horrible. He's not forced to start Rasmus, but he's starting Rasmus. That's on him. I am not going to accept that. Okay, he could easily look at Rasmus and be like, you know what, you need time to develop. I'm going to send you back to the youth team. I don't care how much it costs. That's how a coach stands his ground. I don't care how much it costs. Go back to the youth team, or we're going to bring you in some games that are insignificant. But I have Anthony that's leaving. I have who else leave? Anthony leave, Rashford leave. Omar Barada. I need an experienced striker to come in. I don't care how much you want to spend on him. Bring him in so this kid can learn their trade from him. If it didn't happen, that means that he didn't want it. As far as I'm concerned, everything that is happening right now have to do with Amorim. Omar Barada took a plane to Portugal to bring him in. That means that at that point, he has the leverage. He had all the cards. He could have imposed, he could have said the term, he was dictating the term under which he wanted to work. Now, a few months later, things are not going so well, and then we want to absorb him? No. No way.
Look, let me push back at that just a little tiny bit. Amorim came in, man, in January, had the team he had. January,
November. He came in November.
Sorry, November. So you're going to get the January window, not the summer one. It's very difficult to sign players in January, to pry away good quality players from their teams mid-season. Very hard. Summer is different. That's the first thing. Second thing
Nancy Reagan, in the word of Nancy Reagan, just say no.
What do you mean?
He didn't have to come.
He didn't have to come.
Just say no.
No, but bro, look, what I'm saying is he came. Now he's here. January is difficult to sign. If you're talking about signing, a marquee, proper, good quality player mid-season, it's going to cost more, and a team has got to replace him with little time to do it. It's not a long window mid-season. So that's one. Number two, Xerxes is not an out-and-out striker. Now, you might disagree with me. Xerxes' best work every week when we're sat here, the comments, us, he drops great, brings people into play. He's a 10 in this team. He's not a striker. He doesn't occupy that space like a natural striker. The only actual striker that you have in the entire club, apart from Olby, who's a young kid, is Rasmus. So this goes back again to Nuruddin's original point. If you want to occupy centre-backs, you've got to play Rasmus Højlund in there. Otherwise, you're going with a Bruno false nine or a Xerxes that may as well be a false nine. He doesn't get on the end of things, Xerxes, like you'd get from an out-and-out striker. So options are limited, which is why we keep talking about two strikers. You have to give Rasmus Højlund game time. whether it's to occupy, whether it's to see if he can find that form. This version of Rasmus Højlund is a byproduct of how he's having to play because there are no other options. And this does go back to the ownership who have thrown him in a little bit in the shit. There's nowhere for him to hide, but more than that, there's nobody for him to hide behind. I can't rest him and deploy Rashford there. I can't rest him and put somebody else there, bro.
Can you please remind people? Can you remind people how it was with young players at Manchester United? Take them in. You know what? I just want to remind people. You know, do you think David Beckham came from the youth team and went straight to the? David Beckham was sent on loan at Preston North End till he was 23 years old.
Okay, I have a question.
Go ahead, Bombay.
So sorry, Lawani, just last thing. Just replying to Wendy. The rest of this season, it depends on perspective. To me, the rest of this season is just a means to an end, and that end begins in the summer transfer window. Then I get to see what Amorim's going to do for the subsequent months ahead with new players, with reinforcements, which allow us to say, Rasmus, I have to pull you out of the firing line. Osimhen's going to start. You need to improve and learn. Right now, we are what we are. We're very thin on the ground. You have to play Garnacho in these games because, as you say, Lawani, he's the guy that hogs the touchline and gives you the outball. Even though the quality is dog shit a lot of games and it's frustrated, you don't have Sancho, Rashford, Ahmad, Anthony. They're all gone. Rasmus has no Cole, York, Berbatov, Zlatan, even Cavani, even a weak host to hide behind. It's either you or bust. Because Xerxes is not a number 9. Naturally, you're going to be 10 yards deeper with Xerxes when he tries to play him as that striker. He tried this false 9 shit with Bruno. We were bereft of anything because the centre-backs were so comfortable. He's got a very, very limited squad. This season is just a means to an end. I cannot judge this manager now. He's trying to put one fire out, another one raise its head. So this is just the way it is. You need players that are going to be able to play this system better. You're going to need some new signings to be able to pull people out the firing line. And I hope we sign a mixture of some experience and some youth. No problem. It's not to say every youth player we've signed is a disaster. No, the policy is good because it has longevity. At the moment, we have a major issue of shifting. £350,000 a week Casemiro, £350,000 a week Sancho, £300,000 a week Rashford. It's £90 million Anthony. You cannot, that is what's not sustainable. You can't expect a club to just simply sell players at an absolute loss or incur such wages that nobody's going to buy them. It's better to go with Euro that is succeeding. He is doing well. Agate is limited, but he's a good player. You just need the right guy next to him to help him out a bit. Do you know what I'm saying?
Bomaye, you see,
Dogu, another one, bro. Xerxes, these guys are coming in. There's longevity in these guys. They can improve. If you need to sell them on, it's very doable because the wages are very payable. No problem. You lose on the fee, but the wage is what's killing us here as well. So Amorim's walked into a disaster, and I'd have taken the job, but he's taken the job and he has a long-term plan, hopefully. And we'll see the start of that in the summer.
Bomaye, you see, the price tag of a player should not determine if a manager will play him or not. And if it's going to be the case,
it's not why he should play him, though.
Yeah, we are all. That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't determine if a manager should play him or not, right? But we are all aware of the limitation of Rasmus. We, as a fan, we all know what he can do and what he can't do. So that means that if we know that Amorim of his team surely know that because they have more data than we do. But there are some things he's good at. So why not build the attack in such a way that it enhances his strength? If you look at PSG, for example, Ousmane Dembele is not a now striker. but that attack is built on him because he's very dynamic and he can pick up pockets he can pick up pocket all over the pitch.
Two
So
things.
why not build
Two
the
things.
attack? Yeah.
Two things. The first part of your question is, if you're going through a bad period of form, which Rasmus and Onana are going through a very extended bad period of form, they're getting worse by the week, I think. When Onana came, I highly rated his distribution. Even that's gone out the window. When Rasmus came, he went through some purple patches of scoring goals, big goals. I saw things in him that gave me some hope. He's getting worse and worse and worse. They're suffering from the Torres and Shevchenko syndrome, where they're doubting their own abilities. They almost don't want to be there. They don't want to be there. But at what point do you say, I have to put him back in the firing line because it's the only way that he's going to be able to find his form? He needs a chance to find his form. I can't exile these players.
If you want to put him in the firing line, right? If you want to put him in the firing line, just make sure that you put him in the system that enhances his strength.
This is the second part of the question, right? Bro,
Mm-hmm.
this is the second thing I'm about. Erik ten Hag went wrong, I think. He started to bend his vision to the players that he had. Amorim is not going to do that. Amorim is going to bend the players into the way he sees football and wants to play football. And if they cannot do it, he will report to the senior board, whatever, and say, I can't use him. The reason he's not gonna bend, and I hope he doesn't bend.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot let off the hook. This goes back to what you guys, Nuruddin, keep saying about the board as the root cause. You brought a manager in, and he told you, this is what makes me a success. This is how I'm going to play the game in the Premier League. You agree? Yes, we do. Fine, I'm going to come in and I'm going to start. I'm not going to change the system to suit the players to let you off the hook. I want you to get me the right players, and we're going to find out who the players that can play the system are ready for the summer, and then you have to go and buy me the right players for my system. I won't compromise. I won't change. This is why he's not going to play to the strengths of anybody if it compromises his way of setting up the team. That is what is paramount. That is the only thing that is guaranteed every week. 3 at the back that turns into a 5. He will not change that. He will never change that. He said it, bro. He said, I can't change because I don't have another idea. This is how I play football.
I'm not asking him to change that. I'm not asking him to change his system. I'm asking him to change his approach. I'm asking him to change the personnel. If you know that Rasmus cannot come to the ball, okay, why don't you give him 2 good 10 that can build up in the final third and give him the ball so he can run to and shoot? If you know that Xerxes can come to the ball and cannot run on the shoulder, why don't you give him 2 10s that are just runners? Isn't that what Enrique did with Usman? He just gave him 2 runners.
Okay, give me an example of what you're saying. Which 2 10s does
you're
Rasmus
talking
need
about a football club, Luani?
Give me.
That wants to win. That wants to win. That wants to stop Coutinho and Neves in midfield.
If you're playing Rasmus,
Luani, if you got Neves and Coutinho and Desiree and all the other guys, you will be banging in 30 goals.
That duo at PSG is a player.
Listen. If you're playing Rasmus, give me a combination between Kobe Mino, Eriksen, and Mason Mount. Give me that. Any combination. Give me that.
We have.
Even add Ahmad to the lot.
Guys. You're not going to solve this. I want to bring Jarvis in. Jarvis, what did you think of the game? What do you think about Xerxes' injury? Where do you think what's going to happen on Thursday? Go ahead, because I don't want to be too long.
No. Well, I think we missed one talking point. I know I came in late, but we haven't talked about Bayender. What is Amorim supposed to do with the situation right now? Because we all wanted Onana to be benched, and then Bayender comes in, and he spread the same insecurity as Onana do. He's terrible on the ball, playing on the ground. He's quite good coming in, claiming crosses. He's tall, I like his stature. But I'm worried. I'm worried for Thursday. And what is Amorim supposed to do? He can play Bayindir or he can play Onana.
No. The word
So he has
Jarvis
two
used there
choices
is called
can we
insecurity.
actually trust Bayindir
No,
going into the most important game of the season?
no.
You can see that he just came back from injury. He has no game. He hasn't had no game time, and I think it's a tough choice now for Amorim to make. We did a poll in on the Tactical Devils. About 50% wanted Bayindir to play, and like 25 wanted Onana to play, and 22% wanted Tom Heaton to come in. By the way,
No, it's not
so
a tough choice. He made his choice. You have to
I'm,
give him
I'm I'm
another
just I'm
game.
just asking you guys,
You have to
what
give
should
him
Amorim
another
do?
game.
Because I don't
Give
know.
him another game.
Look. What this is simple. The team that you have is what you have to go with. And unfortunately for Amorim, he's damned if he does, he's damned if he doesn't. That's why,
Yeah.
for me, this season is just a means to an end. I can't accurately judge this right now. There are way too much inexperience, way too much deficiencies in the personnel we have. There's not even room to take out players that are performing shit because either the next one that's coming in is worse, is much worse, or there is no next one. This
Yeah.
team, man, is so young. I keep telling you, week in, week out, the vast amounts of inexperience in this team tells you this is a long-term project. Amorim is here in his mind for the long term. It called it a storm for a reason. Listen to what he's saying.
And they won't
He's
be a
not.
long term if he keeps losing. That's the problem.
No.
He
He's
will
not.
be out after 10 games next season.
Amorim, Jarvis, Ruben Amorim, in my mind, is not even 1% in danger of getting sacked by this Glazers. Not even 1%.
Not this season, but next
Not
season. Pressure
yeah.
will be on.
Yes, it will. So
Yes.
that's what I mean. This season, there's no point in
Bumbaya, can you just hold it 1 second, please?
getting too
I just want to
invested in it.
understand. Bumbaya, just hold your thought 1 second.
Sure.
Bumbaya, Amorim said that Ineos, that he needs to be a manager at City or Newcastle because it's unrealistic at United.
Wendy,
What does that
I'm
mean?
not sure what you're asking me there, so that I can answer you.
Amorim said that to Ineos.
I think
If
it's
Amorim
something I
said
said.
that to
Do you know?
Ineos,
It's
he needs
something
to
I
be
said. I
managing City
think
or
in
Newcastle.
my long
Okay.
Yeah.
segment there, and I think but I'm not sure which part of it.
You see, Amorim, don't come here and tell me the storm and blah blah. That's buttering me up for the pain. Don't butter me up for the pain. I'm not stupid. Can you do
Oh no,
the job
I
or not?
understand. I understand
If you
what
can do
Wendy's
the
saying.
job, just F off. Just like everybody else. Don't
No,
come and stay in the
you
pain.
see,
Luani, I swear to God, Luani, the way that you've been conditioned about
No.
Manchester United is unbelievable. You think everything's on the coach and that everything around him, the club being rotten to the core, the ownership, the chaosness, the way that every top player comes and dies here, every coach comes and dies here. You think that when after he gets to 7 or 8 or 9, seven managed coaches, you must think, actually, it's not the coaches. There's something rotten. But you know what, Luani? You're just a casual football fan. You're just like,
No, what are you
come
talking
match
about,
day.
Nuruddin?
No,
What are you
come match
talking about,
day.
Nuruddin?
Listen to me.
You see
Let me
what
finish.
you say
Let me finish. No,
every coach,
Let me
every
finish.
coach
You
come
come
here
back.
and
Let me
die
finish.
here, right?
Let me
You
finish.
say-
Let me finish. You watch the games and you go tactically. You know about football. We know that you know about football. Coach is not doing here. The players are not doing this. So he must be shit. It's got nothing to do with the owners and nothing to do with anybody else. So just move him on, and then we'll get the next one.
now
And
look,
you know what? You know what? Sacking manager. You know sacking managers. You know where it's got us? The lowest finish in Manchester United history after this season. Carry on.
look. I'm gonna say this. Yeah, this is my and ending about this Amorim thing. I am at the moment. If people are saying sack Amorim, it is definitely their right because of the position we're in and you know how it's going. That's fine.
Facts.
That's fine. I accept that.
But how
But
can they leave the context out of it? Sorry.
that's where I am, bro. So I'm thinking about this Amorim thing, and I'm in a little bit like the position of Eric Ten Hag, where I said, look, next season he'll get some players, then I can make an accurate decision. So I took a lot of shit. I hung in there, but by 17 games in, I was saying I got this wrong. But I'm glad that I got to see that this is not the guy. I can't make a decision on Amorim right now, all considered. I can't. I don't. When he came in the first week we did the show, I said to Sean, in 6 months he could be on the scrap heap. He might not be the guy. I don't know him, but we've seen great managers come here and fail and leave. So that is always a possibility. But right now, I cannot say anything like I'm talking about sacking him. No, I want to see what he can do. I want to see. I'm going to find out about the Glazers in the summer. Let me see what players we get. Let me see what we look like after 8-9 games and if it's going anywhere. Not saying pull the trigger after 8-9 games, but 8-9 games in, man. Do you know what I mean? That's like
At least you're
25% of the
consistent.
season.
You said the same about Ten Hag.
Bro,
You
this
said
is what I'm
exactly
like
the
with
same about
always.
Ten Hag. Yeah.
Dino will tell you, with every manager, I'm like this. I have to consciously be comfortable to say, yes, I have given enough of a chance. Now I'm ready to sever ties because I am convinced you are wrong. But that's not always the best way, I admit, because some of my friends, some of the people in the comments will say, we understand what you're saying, but we want to cut what we believe are going to be more losses incurred now. And with Ten Hag, I can say I was wrong. Some people will still say, no, we should have kept him. I'm in the same boat now with Amorim, bro. I want to see what he can do with better squad, overall squad, with some new players that fit a system that is a unique thing at Manchester United. The only other person that did this type of thing was Van Gaal. And Van Gaal, bro, I was screaming till I was blue enough. Hang on to this manager, please. Another year. We just need some people to finish moves off. And I sent you a video, Jav, of 43 goals scored by Sporting Lisbon in Amorim's season. 90% of the goals, guys, Amorim gets them into the last third. It's individual brilliance that scores goals. They're not carving teams up. I swear to God, they're not playing Man City football, carving people up. Individuals are making goals themselves, finishing off moves, cutting inside, burying goals. That's what Amorim is. But here, he gets us in the last third, but it keeps breaking down with Rasmus Højlund. It breaks down with Garnacho. It breaks down with Anthony. It breaks down with Dogu. It breaks down with Delo. It even breaks down with Bruno sometimes. This is the difference. We see a lot of the last third against Forest, against City. We kill ourselves. The quality's not there. So I need to see better quality, what we can do.
Okay. Well,
Big up to
Nuruddin,
Mustafa.
I'm
Mustafa,
glad you
there's a
described
team
me.
called FC United.
I'm glad you described me as a casual fan. A lot of people say casual fan now.
I think
Listen,
he felt that. Listen,
Bro, you should be happy as a casual fan. If you're invested in this, you'll kill yourself.
I go out there.
That's
No,
what you call,
I know.
That's what you call a low blow. I got the little knife.
It's all right. You know, I
nicked
go out there,
yeah,
right? I go
jab.
out there. I drive in the elements and stressed out, having state troopers writing me citation left and right. The mechanic trying to rip me off, dealing with stress. And when I come home on a Saturday and Sunday, I pay
more stress.
You see that money that I earned? I pay 200 for the cable to be able to watch Manchester United. Not because it's because my heart is in it, right? And I sit down to watch that.
He's not a casual fan, bro. He's hardcore, man.
I'm sorry if I don't want to sit down and hear Amorim talk about the storm is coming. Fuck off, the storm is coming. You know?
Loani drives in the storm, man.
What is he talking about?
What does he know about storms? What does he know about storms?
Brother, if you can do the job, just leave it to somebody else. Sacking managers have always been a staple of life. If you go anywhere, if you go to Wall Street, they don't even last there. If they run the quarterly report and you're underperforming, you're gone. It's life. What's the emotional attachment that we having now? I have to sit down. I just don't want to be stressed. The stress level is high. Tomorrow I'm gonna
What
back on the road.
channel did you watch it on, Luani? What channel do you watch the football on?
I
Was
watch
Gary
it on
Neville on there?
MSNBC, sometimes on Peacock.
Was Gary
And I
Neville
paid
on there?
$200. Yeah, Gary Neville was on there.
What did he say?
First half, he was like, I know he didn't wanna. He was not too convinced, but he wanted to say something against Amorim. But second half, as soon as we got run over, he let it out. He said we just not good enough, and that's about it. What do you expect? He's not somebody who's standing behind Amorim. I can tell you that. But Nuruddin, what I'm trying to say is that this is a matter of responsibility, and Amorim have a team that's underperforming. Once you have a team that's underperforming, I cannot make any excuse for you. If at least you are performing to a certain level because of how the team is built, I can say, all right. Manchester United is not an institution that's built for underperforming managers. So why are we trying to lower the standard for him?
I can buy what you're saying there. If you believe that this is underperforming, and very, very strong case you make that this certainly could be an underperformance, then you know what? You're well within your rights to say what you say. I just want to reply to Wendy. Rest in peace, Leo Bernhacker took Trinidad and Tobago to the 2006 World Cup with the Dwight York days. So yeah, rest in peace, man. That's quite an achievement, isn't it?
May he rest in internal peace. He's made bloody history for the Caribbean islands. So
big up Wendy.
Big up to him. Big up Leo Berhaka. I just want to also say congratulations to the Manchester United women's team. Today, they have gone through to the final and they beat Manchester City. To that, if I'm mistaken, I think I'm right. They beat City today, didn't they? In the semi-final of the FA Cup to reach the final for the third time in 3 years. Am I right?
I don't know, mate.
We are talking about Onana.
They won the game
2-0. Onana that.
City.
Yes.
You're talking about Onana, right? Onana this, Onana that.
1 second, Luani. By the way, me calling you a casual was a little jab.
No, come on. I know. I have to get back to you on that one.
Of course, yeah. Of course, you have to 100%. But yeah, congratulations to the women's team. They've made it to the third final in 3 years.
Congratulations. Yeah.
They lost one, they won one, and now they're in another final. They beat Manchester City away 2-0 today. Go ahead, Luani.
Yes.
Last words from the show. Last words.
What I'm saying is, in general, about Onana, for example, you're not gonna lose a football game comfortably because your goalkeeper is bad. It's just because you're a bad team. The same way, you're not gonna win a football game comfortably because your goalkeeper is a world beater. No, it's because you are a good team and the strikers out front are doing their job. What this whole charade allow us to do is to shift the whole blame and put it on one individual. Why all year long we've been bad, system bad, selection of players bad, players underperforming. It's all compound. And now we keep shifting, as fans, we keep shifting the blame from individual to individual. Like just today, we broke the game down and we're trying to point the finger at Lindelof here or point the finger at Ugarte here. But in general, the coach is the one that can see everything. He's the one in charge of these players. Can he shuffle it up a little bit? That's all I'm asking from him. We have nothing to play for. If there is a future with him, can we at least see it right now? That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. I think, listen, today was a loss. That's what the reason why I didn't do a preview last night is, what's the point of us doing a show Saturday night talking about how we're going to get smashed at Newcastle? There's no point of doing the preview last night to go through things. So, for me, I want to ask you the last question, and I'll start with Jarvis. I think Bayendia has to play, and I think Bayendia should have been playing in some of the cup games, and because you never know, Unana. To me, I don't trust Unana. I never trusted him. And I don't think the guy who knocked us out of the Champions League last season should be given an opportunity to get a bit of glory to go to the semi-final of the Europa League. So Bayern Dia for me goes in net. Bayern Dia's not played when he's not played to that level of pressure and to that. And I blame Amorim for that because Unana should have been dropped long fucking time ago. That's my personal opinion. But come Thursday, Jarvis, a club like Manchester United put all their eggs in one basket. How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
And that's coming to you as well, Bumbaye. A big up Eric Cantona, by the way. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a video on Eric Cantona, what he said about Ineos and the Glazers.
That was fire. Pure fire, that was.
Yeah, big up the king.
Yeah, big up the king,
big
man.
Up, ooh, Cantona. Ooh, Cantona.
What a player, man. What a guy. What a man.
I got a new poster today, so yeah. This will officially be in my studio from now on, Cantona, because of that.
Big up the king.
No, I just want to say, listen, we are where we are for a reason, and we know it's the Glazers. So we can talk, and we always end up with the Glazers. So that's just how it is. But I think two things can be right, and Bumbaye makes a good case, and Lavani makes a good case. I think the pressure is on Amorim, and he needs to make some big choices for us to progress in the Europa League and hopefully win it, because we need to win that tournament. It's all we got. It's our only hope. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm your only hope, as they said in Star Wars. So I just want to say, we lack leaders in this team. You could see it today against Newcastle. So when we have no Casemiro or Maguire, those are leaders on the pitch. You can see our defense with Lindelof jumping in and out. And, he plays with a young player like Lenny Yoro, who's 19. And he can't be the boss of the central midfield. Lindelof, experienced players, played for Benfica. He played for, 10 years for Man United now, maybe 8 years. It's terrible. So I'm looking forward to the game, and I think we will do better because I think we have some of the leaders coming back. Casemiro, Maguire, at least. I think Maguire will be important in the central defense. When it comes to the game against Lyon, I believe still that we are a better team, and I think we are a team that can win when we need to. And we are a cup team. We won the FA Cup and the League Cup a couple of seasons ago. So yeah, and I think we will see the players do better. They will rise, and that's my only hope. I think we can do this. Winning the tournament is another thing, but I think we will at least go through the next hurdle of Lyon. My only worry now is Josh Zirkzee is injured, and we have to rely on Rasmus Højlund. I've been actually thinking we should just drop Højlund now and play someone else. And maybe we could play Casemiro as a striker. Maybe we can play Mason Mount as a striker. Yeah, but I'm serious. I'm serious. At least Casemiro has good.
How vital is Zirkzee? How big is that Zirkzee injury today?
I thought he was one of our best players today, and he's been one of our best players the last couple of months. I don't know why Amorim changed everything up, dropping Bruno and playing him in the 10, and shuffling Højlund out of the team and starting playing him as the number 9. I don't know why Bruno did it. No, why Amorim did it, and I'm not agreeing. I think we started something good, and he changed it up too much tinkering. But I would actually like him just to drop Rasmus Højlund entirely, because he's useless. It's like playing with 10 men. So, today we showed zero pride, zero identity. Newcastle, they outworked us, they outclassed us, they outplayed us, in every single department. And this wasn't one-off bad day. This is a pattern we see a lot of these players. They don't deserve the badge.
Facts.
So they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. But
Jarvis, they didn't bring themselves to this football club. and they're
No.
not. They didn't bring themselves here. Amorim didn't bring himself. I can't blame Amorim. I'm not going to blame Amorim. I'm not, because in January they let Rashford and Anthony go, and they didn't bring him 2 loans to help him with a depleted squad. And the idea that most of us, or majority of United fans, think, oh, we're gonna have all the players fit for the season. It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
I'm gonna put a word in. The best thing I've seen play this system is PSG. Now I'm gonna give you, if I say Hakimi, Nuno Mendes, Doué, Dembele, Varaskelia, Vitinha, right? Those are all good ball carriers and very skillful players. Plus, they are very, very athletic. They move the ball very fast, which is the perfect recipe for this system. For Amorim to be able to be successful with this system, he need not 11 good, skillful players, but 22 good, skillful players. The reason I go to 22 is because from what I can see right now, even if you give him 11, he will still not be able to know who to play where on the pitch. And that's where I'm seeing. That's where I'm coming from. If you're a manager, it's not good. It's not only good for you to know yourself and your system. You also have to be able to read the room in which you are. Amorim is an organization that is not going to give him a perfect team. So it's up to him to adapt or to just walk.
Yeah.
Well,
This is our next goalkeeper. We have to go back to the next guy because they're both crap. So Tommy Heaton is the next guy should be up. Who believes this guy should be our goalkeeper?
I mean, at this point, I'm not clamoring for anybody. We seem to have 2 guys, and Jarvis used a word that describes them perfectly: insecure. When you become a person that is doubting his own ability himself, it's difficult to come back from that. You're going into the match already fearful of where is the next mistake coming from. This is Andre Onana right now. Rasmus Højlund is in that Fernando Torres funk. This is the worst run I've ever seen Rasmus Højlund in 2 years at Man United. I've not seen him this useless, offering nothing. He's actually getting worse. Onana's getting worse. This is a major self-doubt issue. You have to find yourself at a certain point on that pitch. You have a chance to play for Man United. You've got to grab it, man. You have to have courage. You have to overcome this stuff. Managers can't do it for you. Shevchenko was 29 when he came to Chelsea. He just lost himself. Torres was amazing at Liverpool. He never was the same player again. Sometimes you can't get him back. Happens, man.
Yeah, but he just made the choice to give Bayende a start. So he have to stick by him and give him a round of game, to be fair. And that will help him build confidence. And that will also help us know his ceiling.
With regards to this keeper situation, I'm not there every day. I can only say so much. He knows these people as individual human beings. I only can ever know them as players. What he decides and what he does, I really have no preference with Bayindia, Onana, Heaton. I don't see anything there that is particularly good. The keeper at the moment that is starting to get my attention is called James Trafford of Burnley, that you mentioned, I think, or Jarvis mentioned a couple of weeks ago. I heard what Ashley Cole and Joleon Lescott were speaking about him. They are talking about him in extremely, extremely glowing terms, this player. I've seen him, the YouTube scouting job that we all do, very impressed. As far as Manchester United goes, look, I don't think Amorim has any pressure saying that now on the 13th of April at 10:13 in the evening. But if we go out of the Europa League and have performed like this in the Premier League, I still don't think he'll be sacked, because Wendy as well, I agree with, they can't afford to sack this manager now. It will destroy their credibility, especially when
They've
people
got
like
some
Omar.
credibility, Bumbaye.
Well, no, they haven't, but it will further, bro, verify and vindicate the fact that we think they don't know quite what they're doing and they're underperformed. But Omar Barada comes out and says, "I have found a genius." Well, he'll say something about your judgment of managers if you're to sack him less than 12 months into his tenure. So I don't think you'll see that.
Okay.
Going out on Thursday will be an absolute disaster. And I think everybody in that moment, if the whistle goes and we're out, will really feel that the reality hit you right in the face that moment. We're still a little bit in dreamland, as if it's already we've gone through. I don't know how I'm going to feel at 90 minutes on Thursday. It's the biggest game of the season. The season rides on it. If you win the Europa League, man, it's actually a decent season. I can't, that's the goal now. If you achieve it, great. Sets us up nicely. If you go out of that, I don't know if that affects going forward in the summer transfer window.
Right.
I think it will. But right now, I'm gonna hang on with the manager, bro, and see where we are at the start of the next season.
Okay. Big up, Bumbaye.
Big up.
This is what the club has tweeted tonight. I don't know if you can read it. I'll read it for you guys. From Lyon to Newcastle and around the world, your support has been heard. Let's focus on Thursday.
Wait a minute. Your support has been heard. Why have you not resigned? Every week our support is telling you to get yourselves gone. Glazers.
Okay. The business owners. What do you guys want them to tweet? You guys want them to say we shit?
Silly boys.
Right. Guys, please smash the like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. He asked me, what question did he ask me? Big up Sheikh Harian. He says, Nuruddin, what's your thoughts on the fans clapping and singing to the... Listen, we've got the best away fans in world football. They're there to support the football. They're there to support the players and the coach. And I actually love that. I actually love that when our fans do that. So, yeah, I don't have any problem. I just want them in between to also sing Ineos and Glazers out. That's all I ask for. I'm not asking for too much. But anyway, people, in summary, we'll be live on
Wednesday.
Anybody like Harry Amas today?
No. We'll be live, obviously, but maybe Wednesday. But I'm gonna see if I can do a preview tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow we'll be live for tomorrow.
For Thursday, bro.
Yeah, for Thursday we're gonna do a preview maybe tomorrow, if we can tomorrow night. If you're available, let me know.
Don't do it 9 p.m.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do 10:30 tomorrow if you're free.
Okay.
I
have the show 9 p.m. So yeah.
Cool.
So if you go later, I can jump on.
Cool. People, it's been a pleasure. Big up Luani playing Sean's role today.
Talk to me about Amas.
West Side.
I like him,
Of course I do. I do like him. I think he for
the serenity.
Serenity. Throwing in the deep end, he's got the technical ability. I think positioning, like he said, he got caught as a young kid. He is, but I don't blame him. He's 18 years old, and the tough game he was throwing into. I'll say free Palestine, free Lebanon, free Sudan, free the Congo, free everybody anywhere in the world where people are oppressed. We stand in total solidarity with everyone fighting imperialism, colonization, and racism, and fighting against Zionism. Fuck the Zionist entity. Fuck the Glazers. Fuck Ineos. And if you want to be down with them too, and you're a sheep, meh! Hold tight the bootlickers. You know who you are. We know who you are. We know who you are. You too many bootlickers. We know who you are. Bootlickers. Hold tight. I hope you got some dark chocolate on those boots that you're licking. Enjoy. And big up to Luani. Big up to my brother Luani all the way out there in the East Coast.
Big up, my brother.
In lovely New York. Make sure you follow him at Mawani Luwani 1979. Make sure you check out Tactical Devils. Make sure you go and check out the Tacticals. Jarvis, they did it at least 2 hours. I'm guessing 2 hours of breakdown. I was out and about afterwards. After I watched that shite, I was like, Saeed, I'm out of here. I went to meet some friends and had some food. And then I came back to do this show. So go and check that out. You already know he's not just a YouTube guy. He's also an editor, a video production expert, a graphics expert. He's the man. So better watch out. Jarvis Bowley.
Thank you.
I mean, never gonna give you up. AKA
Amorim just do his job, huh? Amorim, just do your job, so I don't have to go out stress or just do your job.
Amorim, the casual is not happy. He works all week for his team. He's not happy. He's not happy. Well, Luwani, maybe you need to apply for a job. Fuck the highways.
No.
You know what, man? Drive that goddamn 16-wheeler straight through the front gates of OT.
You know what you need to do, Luwani? You know what you need to do? You need to find where the Glazers live and drive that truck through it, bro. That's what you need to do. You need to
you drive that truck through it and throw me, Jarvis, and Nuruddin in the back of that truck.
Enough to retire. Maybe I might consider it.
Go and retire in Miami, Florida, yeah?
Yep. Yeah. And Miami? Heck no.
Florida,
I'm heading back to Togo.
Nice.
Big up, guys. Thank you for the vote. Nuruddin, thank you for the time, even it was rotten game. Listen, this is the therapy. This is where we get it out, people. This is where we get it out. But yeah, F the Glazers, win, lose or draw. F the Glazers, F Ineos. Free Manchester United from the Glazer and Ineos. Big up to Smokin' Molly Coley.
No, that's just a spammer, man. That's for fake.
Yeah, but big up to you though. But you know what? But it takes effort to be a spammer, doesn't it? It takes a big. I love big. What? Wow, that's horrible. What they're saying. But it is what it is. It's horrible.
Jarvis, are you interested in trading the Norwegian citizenship for the American one? It's 5 million. 5 million. 5 million. It's 5 million.
Trade. So you want
5 million.
He's got family in the US, actually. Jarvis has got family in the US.
Yeah.
5 million. 5 million is what that's what the president.
I'm fine. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
anyway.
just give me your Tesla then.
Listen, it is what it is. But listen, please make sure you go and check out, like I said, Jarvis Cocker Bowley 77 on Twitter at Bowley 77.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out Mawali Luwani 1979. Mumbai, you'll never see me on anywhere. You'll find me there. X, that guy, Red Devil. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We're still on the road to 13K. No, we're shadow banned, but we don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll try. Big up to you. Appreciate you. Love and light. Look after each other. And we'll see you hopefully tomorrow night. No, Tuesday night. I'm going to Cantona video. I'm going to do a video on Cantona. So make sure you look out for that, people. And please make sure you share that across all your social media.
Oh, that should be good.
Love, light. Take care. Big love, people. And yeah, 9 o'clock tomorrow night, the best show on YouTube. Make sure you check it out.
Yes.
Jarvis Corner.
Tactical Devils, Jarvis Corner, yeah.
Who have you got tomorrow? You and Stu?
Yeah, but I have I need guests, so
maybe Luwani, are you free?
If any of you want to jump on, you're free.
9 o'clock tomorrow.
Tomorrow I have a trip to Boston, and then from Boston I'm going.
Oh, nice!
I'm going west.
Nice.
So I'm probably gonna be driving all day. I can't say how many hours I'm gonna be driving because then it's gonna be illegal. So I'm gonna be driving all day. Yeah.
Safe trip, bro. Safe trip.
Journey.
Thanks.
Safe journey.
Be safe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jarvis, we'll see if I'm about. We'll see.
Yeah. No pressure.
Maybe the last hour.
Yeah, that's okay. And by the way,
Well.
I'm going into Easter holiday now, so I'm not working for the full next week. So I will probably do more shows on the channel.
Yeah. Big up. Make sure you keep it locked, people. Keep it locked. Please, for those of you on your way out, smash a like on the video. It costs you nothing. I'm not asking you to be a member. All I'm asking for you is just to like the video. and no other channel shares everything that's on screen. I'm directing the fucking show as well as presenting, because I'm putting all your comments and interacting with you on real time.
Yes.
Because
Quality.
we're a fucking community. So just do it, people. And all the mods, please encourage people to like the videos. Love. F the GCSEs while we're there as well.
And leave a comment in the non-live section, Nuruddin.
And please leave a comment.
Yes.
Can I ask you, there's 90, 100 and 101 here. In the Latin, after we end the video, can you please start commenting? It helps the algorithm of the video, so please do that. I beg you. Take care. Love and light. We're out with only the best outro that we can find anywhere. Take care. Good night.